Next order of business, and I'm really excited to talk about this actually, because this is a surprisingly controversial, subject right now, and that's
Yeah.
simply, should Pixar make more Lightyear like spinoffs? And like, by what we mean by Lightyear like is, they could give Woody the Lightyear treatment, where they show you the world that Woody, the TV show that Woody was a part of, as opposed to being a part of the Toy Story franchise. It's still
Yeah.
kind of part of it, but it's not the same thing. So they did that with Lightyear. It was the movie that the toy Buzz Lightyear was based off of, and that was Andy's favorite movie. That's why he had the toy. And my God, the weird backlash and like confusion, and like I'm amazed how confused people are about this. We talked about this a few, I think on Tuesday. But just kind of reiterate, people don't really know that. I think they're thinking that they're going into this and thinking like this is like a Toy Story prequel. I don't, and that makes me wonder, do they even really know what Toy Story is about? Number one, and number two, like, why can't they disconnect it? I mean, the trailer clearly states, "Hey, this is based on the movie that the toy was based off of. This is the movie in that universe." And then, sorry, go ahead.
Even I saw somebody watch the movie say this. The first shot of the movie tells you what it is. Like, it literally says, like, the action figure Buzz Lightyear is based on, like, a big epic superhero kind of movie or big sci-fi movie. This is that movie. That is literally the first shot of the movie.
Right.
Paraphrasing, obviously, but like,
right. Yeah. The thing is like, okay, so maybe it just didn't go over as well with people, and then they replaced Tim Allen with Chris Evans. And I used the word replaced loosely. Again, I'm reiterating our discussion on Tuesday because it kind of leads into what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Because to me, that is the correct step. It's not replacing Tim Allen because of we don't like Tim Allen's political views, or he's all washed up, or whatever reason people are claiming they replaced him for. To me, it makes sense. This is based off the movie. How many toys do you have? Like, I know when I grew up, the toys that I had, very few toys were the voice from the movie.
Right.
And like, to me, it made perfect sense. And number two, I think Chris Evans sounds not too far off from what Tim Allen sounded like. I've said ever since the first trailer came out, like, oh my God, I never realized that Tim Allen was doing the best Captain America impression, and no one had any idea. Did you know
that Chris Evans and Tim Allen also share a birthday?
Oh,
yeah, it's just a fun fact.
Tim Allen, yeah, another thing he took away from me. So I recapped everything Monty and I talked about on Tuesday, because there's a quote. The Angus McLean was talking to GameSpot, and they were asked, do you think they should make more spinoffs, or do you recommend spinoffs for these types of franchises? And he had this to say. He says, "I really wouldn't recommend it. It's so hard. As a filmmaker, you really have to think about what problems you want to solve. When we took on this project, we ran into the problem of having to change a side character to a main character, and that's a really hard thing. Having worked on Finding Dory, that was just tremendously hard. That was just tremendously hard." So his angle at it is taking a side character and making them a main character.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where that's difficult, but people have been doing that ever since cinema. I mean, we've had spinoffs of side characters going into main characters very successfully for years. Look at Laverne and Shirley. Laverne and Shirley came out in the 70s, and that was a spinoff of Happy Days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. Like The Jeffersons, a spinoff of All in the Family. Then there's spinoffs off of spinoffs off of spinoffs. It can really go out of control. But the thing is, what I really want to discuss here, Seth, is, should Pixar make, let's just dumb it down, should they make that Woody movie?
I'm glad we were all thinking it. I don't think it's necessary at all. I mean,
no movie's necessary if you want to, be real about it. I mean, but like, I don't know. Like when I say no movie is necessary, that's, yeah. I mean, you can say that about any movie, honestly. But to me, I think we need to train our audience here. Like, hey, we understand that, we're not telling the Toy Story story here, but this is a sci-fi, action movie, that just happens to have a very unique twist to a character's original concept. I would love to have a Woody movie. Like, personally, would you like to see a Woody movie? Like, I'm excited to see Lightyear, to be honest with you.
I would be curious in seeing a Woody movie, but it's not something I'm gonna die for. Like, if they never announce a Woody movie, okay. Like, I'm not gonna think about it again. But if they do, I'll be like, oh wow, they're doing it.
Yeah.
And then that's about it. Like, I don't really. Should they? I don't know, because it seems to really be causing a lot of confusion, and it's not even doing that well right now, which is odd. But so it
is odd, but it could be one of those cult classic sort of things. You never know how that stuff's going to end up. But everyone seems to be saying kind of the same thing. Like, it starts off strong and then it kind of fizzles out through the second and third act.
Whether they should or shouldn't make another one with, another spinoff, I don't think they will, just because of how this movie's being received. And now, it's not like it's getting a ton of negative reviews or anything. Reviews are mostly positive. And, I usually don't like saying this, but most of the negative reviews seem to be from people that are, slightly homophobic. And
oh yeah, there's that backlash too.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not making nearly as much money as they thought it was going to. So I don't think they will make another spinoff, whether that be a Woody movie or Lightyear 2.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point. And that whole homophobic aspect of it, man, what an outdated thing. Why are people still like that? I don't get it.
This movie's I saw someone post about it, because I saw somebody like make a post like, oh, this movie is outrageous, why are they putting this stuff in kids movies? And someone replied with the scene that they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is 2 seconds long and pretty much in the background.
Yeah.
This thing that they're talking about. This movie is being review bombed on IMDb. I think it's got like a 5 out of 10 right now or something. Like, it's kind of crazy how much people are just bombing this movie.
Right. Well, and then Jimbo also brought up a good point on Tuesday when we were kind of discussing the controversy of this movie. He said, "Oh shit, I had it in my head what he said. And now I just lost it. Oh man, I can't remember now. Sorry, Jimbo. Go watch Tuesday's episode. You can find it there. But when it comes, like, if that were in the background, just a man and a woman having a little kiss or whatever they did, that no one would be up in arms about.
Yeah, no one would care.
It's so weird that that's still a problem. But anyway, we're segueing again. But like, I personally listen. If they do make a Woody movie, there's one thing they have to do. Otherwise, they're going to bring all the some of the criticism of Lightyear. They're going to make that criticism fact. They would have to replace Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would.
Right, they would have to, because
Tom
otherwise,
Holland.
Huh?
I said get Tom Holland, but I was kidding.
Because if they didn't replace Tom Hanks, then everyone would be like, "Yeah, we knew it. They did it because of Tim Allen's political stance." And then that would,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, man. This is the last time I want to talk about Buzz Lightyear. To be honest with you, I'm just so shocked about the weird. I thought this movie was going to be a hit.
It's really weird how controversial this movie is.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, who would have thought? Like, in 1996, when the first Toy Story movie came out, who knew that we'd have like headlines, Buzz Lightyear controversy in the year 2022. Like, it's so unique. And I was like a kid. I was like 13 years old when that movie came out. It's so strange to see the parallel, how this happened, how things changed over the years. Oh man, is there anything else you want to add to this Buzz Lightyear bullcrap?
No, I'll say this one last thing though. So I guess yes. I was working at the theater the other day, and one of the job I was doing that day was cleaning the theaters. We showed up to one of the theaters early, and we didn't realize it, so we walked in. I got the movie spoiled for me. That was very unfortunate. Yeah. And it's like, you think of it as like, oh, well, what could it possibly be? No, there's a twist. And I walked in right as it was being revealed.
Oh man,
that kind of bugs me out because it's kind of a cool twist though. Obviously, I'm not gonna say it, but it's like if I had been watching the movie without like having seen that, I would have been like, whoa, okay, that's an interesting turn, like kind of thing.
I bet that's gonna happen a lot to you.
I'm worried about Thor.
You're going to get a lot of movies spoiled for you before you actually get to watch them. I would ask some of your coworkers about that. Like, hey, what do you guys do to prevent this? And they might look at you and go, well, don't do this. Or they might be like, part of the job, man.
I think it might honestly just be part of the job. And another thing is, because when you're walking out of a movie, usually you're talking about it, like as you're walking out. And I've always thought to myself, like, do the people working at the front hear us and like what we're saying on like opening night or something? Like, like imagine walking out of No Way Home, like, oh my God, Toby and Andrew, like that was so cool. Imagine the person working at the front hasn't seen it yet. It's like, oh, okay, I guess Toby and Andrew are in it. Or do they just? Or
I've been living under a rock for the past year.
Yeah, exactly. That was just the first example. Like, or do they not hear it? I've worked at the front a few times. You can hear it. you can hear the conversations. So wow. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Oh man, maybe you and I trolled more people than we thought we did when we would walk out of the theaters talking about something that didn't happen.
Well, we watched Logan. That was fun. That was.
I don't even remember what we said walking out of the theater. Do you?
It was this random thing. We were like, oh my God, like I couldn't believe Wolverine and Mystique got married at the end. I couldn't believe Professor X was Wolverine's dad. Like, what? That was such a twist. Man, you and I were trolls back then for sure. I think something I said, well, I couldn't believe Wolverine actually survived.
In that post-credit scene, yeah. Okay, all right.